Well, let's talk about Iran. The first thing is, if you have a disagreement with people, you should talk to them. This administration has refused to talk with Iran for over 6 years now, 5 years, since it's been in office. It doesn't talk to people it disagrees with. It threatens them, it bullies them, it attempts to persuade them, it uses other people to talk to them. It doesn't want to talk to people it disagrees with. We had a very hard time getting this administration to talk to North Korea. Finally, they did. Now they don't want to talk to, and they haven't wanted to talk and participate in serious discussions with Iran. You see, Iran represents the minority of Islam. They represent largely the Shi'ite sect. It's a sect which is it's about 15% of Islam. Iran is the only major nation that is a Shiite nation right now. And as they move toward acquiring nuclear power and aiming for nuclear weapons, they've been given for the first time in 13 centuries the opportunity to lead the Islamic world. This means that the more the West threatens and pushes and tells them to give it up, the greater the pressure on them internally to resist those demands. We're making them heroes in the eyes of the Muslim world as they see it. And so many of them welcome this pressure. The truth is, the world is not going to be safer with an Iranian nuclear weapon, at least not given the current balance of power and frictions in the Middle East. So my prescription is first to talk to the Iranians, to lay it out to them person to person in a high-level, authoritative way, behind the scenes, not with a lot of fanfare. This administration should do it, and it should do it now, before we have to go to the United Nations and argue for sanctions or talk about a military option. That's the basic prescription right now. How should we look at the problem beyond that? Well, I'd say that any wise government looks at all alternatives. We should be looking at how to move forward with the dialogue, discussion, and diplomatic pressures on Iran to give up its pursuit of nuclear weapons. We should also be asking ourselves, what is it that we would expect of the Iranians if they were to have a nuclear potential? How is it possible that we could ever live with that? And we should be asking, what would our conditions be if they were to get this? And then we should be saying, but there's a military option. And what is that military option? How do we make it workable? And what would our conditions be to use it? And how would we end it if we began it? So we need to look at all three of these things. But right now, this is the time for dialogue. Right now.